Yo, what up? It's your boy, Todd, coming at you to share terrible information via the internet. Now, when I share this information, my goal is not to make me the leader and you a follower. My goal is to make you a leader. So you're going to gift me the frame as a leader, and then you're going to take that frame back. And what that means is everything that I'm going to share here, I want you to not take my word for it and go see if it's true for you. Don't just take my word for it. I really dislike teachers that come at me and just tell me what's true. It's like, back off. So I like teachers that invite me to go test the information for myself and allow me to still be a leader in my own world, reality frame, etc. So same for you. Okay, cool. Before we dive into this, there's two main caveats when it comes to hitting on girls that are there with guys. Okay, number one, this advice is for calibrated men. You can tell you're not calibrated when, if you just go out and interact with people, you kind of weird them out and you come off as weird. Please do not follow this advice if you are uncalibrated. This is specifically for calibrated men. If you are going to try this advice and you are not calibrated, I really, really recommend going to a training. One of my mentors, Owen Cook, he runs boot camps. He has great instructors. So if you are uncalibrated and you are trying to learn hitting on women and socializing, please do not use this advice. Please go to an instructor. And if you're going to test something like this, test it underneath the guidance of someone that actually knows what they're doing. Okay, so that's the first caveat. Second caveat, this advice is for America specifically. If you are in a third world, if you are in a third world country where you do not understand the social dynamics and you are out and you do not have male alliances, other men with you, do not do this advice. Please do not do it. Men kill other men over women. So this is not to be taken lightly in any way, shape, or form. So again, the two caveats, this is for calibrated men. If you are not calibrated, go to a boot camp, go underneath an instructor if you are going to test something like this. Number two, if you are in a third world country where you do not understand the social dynamics, and if you are out alone without male alliances, also do not do this because men kill other men. All right, so wow, why even do this, Todd? Why even go out and hit on women that are there with other men? So, first reason is expansion. So, for some reason as men, when we are scared of something and we have fear and we do it, we expand, we release, we grow. So, as a man, if there's something that scares you, it is important to face it. Now, of course, there are fears that can actually kill you, so I'm not saying that you should, I'm afraid to jump off a 10-story building. Don't do that. But when it comes to the two fears I'm going to talk about here within a social context, which is one, female rejection, and then two, rejection from other men. Okay, so this is about expanding and about facing your fear. I am not saying that what you should do is go through your life constantly hitting on women that are there with other men. I'm not saying that you should do that. I am saying is if you are scared of doing it, then it's important to do, again, assuming the two caveats, you are calibrated and you are in America. I'm not making this advice for anyone else. Okay. So let's say that you are out and you see a female that you are attracted to and you want to talk to, and she is there with another man. You can say what you want, but the real reason that you are not going up to her is you are scared and you have fear. Well, Todd, I don't really want to take another man's girl. Okay, you're in a taking frame. So there's two main frames here. There's the collaborative frame and there's the competitive frame. Okay, so just hang with me while I digress really quick. Collaborative frame, competitive frame. Let's take a sports game. Let's take hockey, soccer, football. The two teams are competing. That is the competitive frame. Okay, it's true. They are competing. The competitive frame is real. The teams need each other, though. So one team, if the other team isn't there, there's nothing they can do. They actually need the other team. So at one viewpoint, they are competing, and in another frame, collaboration, they actually need each other. They are in a dance with each other. Men competing with other men is one of the best gifts that you have. It's actually collaborative to compete with other men because you grow and you expand. So, you see the guy, he's with a girl that you're attracted to. Your current default option is to not go talk to her and him, really because you're scared of either her rejection or his rejection. You can say it's because you don't want to take the girl, which I definitely get because that's a competitive frame. But I want to invite you into the collaborative frame and why it's actually the best thing possible for you to go up and talk to that woman, okay? So, let me tell you why it's actually beneficial for everyone if you go up. Number one, you will expand. You're scared of doing it. By going up and putting yourself under that social pressure, your energy as a man expand. That's why it's best for you. Why it's best for the female. Hilarious. The female, the woman, whatever you want to call it. Why it is best for the female is you want her to be with a really solid dude. Either the dude she's with is a really solid dude, or hopefully you are a really solid dude. Hopefully you're not just a piece of shit that just tries to take from everyone, but you actually do want what's best for everyone. So if you go up and you approach, you expand, she gets an opportunity to be with the best man, right? So either you or the other man, right? So she gets to win by you actually coming up and having balls. Number three, you actually help the other man out. This is a little bit of a nuanced point, but I appreciate it when other men come up and try to hit on the women that I'm with because it forces me to stay in release, to stay present. It forces me to not fall off. So these other men are actually keeping me sharp. So even if you go up and she stays with that other man, you're still helping him. You are giving him an opportunity, just like the two teams competing, to actually compete, which will cause him to have to reground and stay present, because the way that he will be able to hold frame here is by staying present and staying grounded. Okay? So if you go up, you expand, she gets an opportunity to try to pick a really solid man. And then number three, you actually give the other man a chance to compete and stay in the frame. So, you come up, good social projection, good movement, not twinching or whatever you call it. You say hi to both of them. You say hello. You face the female and you ask her something like, is this handsome young man your boyfriend? Because you do want to establish if it is her boyfriend, then of course you want to be respectful. You're not trying to just go out here and just steal other men's girls, because that would mean that you are a piece of shit that's just trying to take. If it is her boyfriend, you say congrats, like really good job, lovely meeting both of you, good to go. Now, in this case, you face your fear. You've not been rude or disrespectful to anyone, and you've given the universe an opportunity to pick which man they want to go with. Now, if she says that that guy is not her boyfriend, if that's what she says, it's fair game. Okay? So, at this point, we are blocked on the girl, and we are talking, and we are engaging with the female. If the other man tries to talk to us, we are ignoring the other man. We are staying locked on her, and we are holding the frame, and he is out of the frame. This is where he will get an opportunity to try to actually hold frame and be a leader and a dominant male. So you stay locked on her, you stay talking to her. If her eyes shift back to him when you are talking, that means that she is more in his frame. If so, you congratulate the other guy again. Like, hey, really good job. You are on it. She's totally into you. Love seeing it. Like, I love seeing another man that is just in his presence crushing it. And this needs to come from an authentic place where you are actually happy that the other guy is on it and that the girl is 100% into him. If the girl is not 100% into him, she's going to be locked on you and you're going to ignore him and he's basically out. Okay? And for him, this is going to be a difficult experience, losing the female that way. If you're a guy that this has happened to, you're welcome. Watch my content or Owen Cook and learn how to be a really good, attractive man that can hold frame. So I want to talk about the worst case. So the worst case scenario in this is, well, let me back up. You are probably going to feel like you are going to die. You probably are going to have fear that that man is going to get other men and come kill you. I'm not saying it's rational. I'm just saying that for most of our central nervous systems, we have fear around other men killing us. So it's a fear. It's not rational, but it doesn't matter. Like, you are going to feel this. So, okay. A couple of things to cover here. Willingness to die. You can't make survival your God. And again, please go back to the earlier caveats here because this is, if you are not calibrated, please do not do this. If you are in a country where you do not understand the social dynamics or you don't have other male alliances, do not do this because men have killed other men over women. So it's a fear that in America in 2024 is not very realistic, but it doesn't matter. Your DNA is like, they could kill me. Okay. Willingness to die. So you cannot make survival your God. God is God. So expansion, and the caveat for God for most very logical men is basically take the highest form of ideals that you can on every character trait: compassion, understanding, intelligence, wisdom, expansion, dial it up to an infinity, put them all in a bucket. That's God. So you're moving towards that ideal. And if you move towards that ideal, there are no false idols. You can't really get tripped up, right? So you're keeping God God. You are not making a God out of survival. You are here to expand. You are here to grow. And you are here to face your fears. And also you will die at some point. I'm not saying to speed the process up by being uncalibrated and doing this without male alliances. But I am saying that you will feel like they are going to kill you. It's a fear. Okay. So I want to walk you through the worst case scenario. Okay. You go up to the girl. You talk to both of them. He says it is his girlfriend. Doesn't matter what he says. You pivot to her. She says that is my boyfriend. You compliment him. He may be a little bit upset. From a genuine place, you are congratulating him like, hey man, like, awesome job. She's absolutely locked on to you. I love seeing it. That's the best. Really good meeting you guys. If I piss anyone off here, I'm really sorry. Okay. Worst case scenario, you are talking to him and then you are talking to her, asking if it's her boyfriend. She says no. You block him out. You lock on her. You start doing your thing, connecting with her. You don't even pay attention to him anymore. He's out of the frame. Him and his friends come up. Now, most men will not attack you right off the bat. They will do a couple of other things before. Now, again, this is in America in 2024. Go back to earlier caveats. Don't want to have to keep looping on that. So, worst case is that guy gets in your face and basically threatens you. Okay? So you're talking to her, and then he's like, what the fuck, motherfucker? Like, I'll fucking kill you. That's worst case scenario. Okay? At this point, you're just like, hey, breathe. All good. Not a big deal. You need to be able to de-escalate. Okay? In order to de-escalate a situation like this, you need to be able to be calm in your nervous system. And this is again why I talk about this being a fear that you're going to face. So doing it in baby steps, like not going full tilt on it, just saying hi to begin with to couples, and then, or not couples, but a guy and a girl that are there together, and then slowly start working your way up, or doing this with a coach. You will be able to basically de-escalate every single situation as long as you are staying calm. And that includes if multiple men are mad at you. Okay? So if multiple men are coming in, so the guy is mad at you and then he's calling over his other friends, okay? That's worst case scenario. There's another worst case scenario which I'll talk about in a second, but that's worst case scenario. So in that scenario, right, and you're on it and you are getting threatened and you can feel that they are ready for actual violence. Okay? And if you're calm, you can feel when there's actual violence. At that point, you're like, hey, didn't mean to offend anyone. Really sorry. No girl is worth any amount of violence. All good. Wish you guys the best. That is the best way to calm that situation down. Okay. Now, let me talk about the other bad case, okay? If a situation like that happens when you are out and you de-escalate it, okay, when you leave that venue, you cannot leave alone. Because there is a chance that those other men, well, this is absolutely worst case scenario. This is like 1 out of a million. But we need to cover all things. This is why you have to have other men with you, right? If that is the case, that many threats and violence has come at you and you've stayed calm and you've de-escalated, hey, so sorry, didn't mean to offend anyone, and they'll still be like, fucking all good, so sorry. Keep going with your night, but when you leave at the end of the night, you cannot leave alone. Like, you need to leave with preferably other men or at least one other man. Because worst case is that they attack you when you are vulnerable and when you are alone. That is worst case, okay? The fear is real. It is very unlikely to happen. It probably will not happen, but I feel like it is important to actually prepare you for it. Now, why would you do this? It is important to face your fears. I'm not saying to do it in an unsafe way, which is why I said don't do this when you are uncalibrated. And don't do this if you are alone. Like, you need male alliances with you. Normally, if you come in and it's just the boyfriend and she acknowledges it, don't ask him. The guy's always going to say it's his girlfriend. You always pivot to the girl to ask. And if it's her boyfriend, hey man, really good job, love it, love seeing it, like, and really actually mean it. If it isn't, stay locked on the girl, keep talking to the girl, don't even really pay attention to the dude anymore. You can even say, hey, 2 seconds, like, to the girl, like, hey, come here, like, you know, hand out, like, hey, 2 seconds. And you've already closed the space and you're kind of like in their personal space already. So the men, when they try to say things, you stay in the frame with the girl and generally they will cease. Now, if shoving and actual threats of violence come on, at this point you will have to pivot back to de-escalate the situation. Like, hey, all good. One of the things I really recommend, which I probably should have talked about this sooner, which is calling out tension earlier is better. So when you go up to say hi to the two of them, the guy will probably already tense up. You'll be feeling the tension. If you feel the tension, it's in the beginning, it's probably just you, but it's whatever. But if you're normal and you're being out there and you're socializing and you start to feel the tension, it's probably the other guy. So you can pivot to the guy and say, hey, I'm feeling tension here, which he'll probably deny. No, I'm not tense. You're like, oh, okay, cool, all good then. And then back on the girl, right? We're facing our fears. We're locked in on the girl. The other men, out of the frame, does really not matter. We are there to meet great women. The competition will be good for them, good for the men. The girl will get to choose a guy that's really good for her. And if you feel the threat of violence, hey, so sorry, did not mean to offend. No girl is worth physical violence. It's all good. You guys have a great night and get out of there, right? Because there are men that are very violent, and the girl that they're with could also like violence. So this is important. This is why it's important to be calibrated. So, in my experience, it really doesn't happen that much. Most men aren't gonna... Men are generally scared of other violence too, because anything can happen, so they're gonna give a good amount of warning. Not everyone. There are psychopaths out there. But let me share why, even if the person attacks you, they're still in your frame, you're the leader. So they're reacting to you. People react to the leader. So as you try to de-escalate, hey, didn't mean to offend anyone, all good, showing open palms, did not mean to offend anyone, creating distance, and they're getting in your face, do not react. Stay calm. Do not react. They're reacting to you, which means that you are the leader. Okay? There are violent psychopaths. It's very rare, but it can happen. So we need to cover it. So, no woman is worth the violence. Really sorry. Did not mean to offend in any way. Wish the absolute best. He'll still be mad at you, but he will feel like you acknowledged him and that you backed down. That's how it will feel to him. He'll be like, yeah, I'll fucking kill you. You're like, hey, I'm so sorry. It's like, yeah, you better be. Like, and you're like, so sorry. Not worth it. All good. I wish you guys the absolute best. You're still collaborative. Like you still want what's best for him. He will feel like you back down, which should more or less solve it. Unless that they are a psychopath, which again is why you don't want to leave the venue alone. Very important. Like, walked to your car with other men. Sensory acuity and calibration is important here. Almost never going to happen. Really, the fear is important to face, and it's important to be calibrated and to be able to de-escalate. Not giving this advice for third world countries. Wow, this video sounds so heavy. This doesn't sound fun at all, does it? But here's the real truth. When you do this, you will be more free. The goal here is freedom. It's social freedom. It's expansion. It's freedom. The goal here is freedom. The goal of this isn't even to get the female. Because again, there are better ways. Like going out specifically to hit on girls that are there with guys is like, I mean, you know, it's not the most effective or efficient way to do it, but that's not what we're doing here. We are not doing things to get girls. Like, this is about freedom and expansion. Now, the more free and expanded you are, the more women will be attracted to you, and that's a great byproduct. But you can't make a god out of sex and women and female approval either. So, very exciting. That's my morning chat. That is what has been on my mind lately. Fun to do it. You will also hit a point in your development where you are no longer scared to do it, where there isn't fear there. And at that point, you are just doing it if you see a woman that you're like, man, I really want that female. Then you go for it. Again, be careful. All the other caveats still apply. You're the leader, not me, so you need to go and test this carefully for yourself and report back. Okay, love you guys. I'm going to get to work. Bye.